Right, so my name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today, I'm going to be going over with you guys customizing your KW website. So we're going to take a look at kind of really adding some custom pages and additional content to enhance your website. So without further ado, let's jump in. The first thing we want to do is let me find my link here. Sorry, bouncing around. So the first thing we want to do is we want to head into our command platform. So yours should look similar to mine. It's agent.kw.com. These home screens are a little bit customizable. So if you're jumping in here and yours looks a little different, that's totally okay. Again, you can customize this home screen. A couple of the basic things we want to cover before we jump into our website is always going to be making sure our profile that feeds information to that website is accurate and up to date. So the profile we want to take a look at as far as updating our website is going to be under our name in the top right corner. And it's going to be under the settings. So we will take a brief look at this My Profile, but primarily we're going to head into settings for anything that feeds to your KW website. From there, we want to go to our Connect settings in the left-hand menu, and we want to click on that marketing profile. Now, again, this profile is, in my opinion, the absolute most important. This one is going to feed over all of your primary information to your KW website, to your consumer app, and to other marketing materials specifically within Command. So you want to make sure it's turned on, otherwise your website may not be branded to you. You're going to want to make sure you have a photo. The recommended size is 360 by 360. If you need help resizing that, you can send it over to us. We're happy to help with that. That specific size, make sure that your photo is not distorted, stretched out, your head or your chin aren't cut off, etc. So great to have it that specific size. If you have a team logo, you want to throw something in there. If you're not on a team, we still do highly recommend having some sort of image there. Couple of options with that. If you've branded yourself as a solo agent, you can throw that logo here. If you have an additional headshot that you'd like to be displayed, or if you just want to use a generic Keller Williams logo, those are all great options. This logo does pull to some marketing, so having one there, even if you're not on a team, can be important. Moving down, you do want to make sure you have your basics, so name, license number. If you're on a team or not, you can add that. Your title, slogan if you have one, any designations, if you have military affiliations, and then of course your bio. So this bio right here is going to feed over to your About Me section of your KW website. So making sure that it is up to date here is going to be super important. Phone numbers, those also will feed over to your website, your email address. Your website will be available as a hyperlink on different marketing, as well as on here, you'll have some of those hyperlinks. So you'll want to make sure you have that included. It is going to be the full URL for your website, so make sure you have that HTTPS included with it. You'll want to make sure you have your market center information. Now, this is going to be specific to your office. If you're not familiar with your specific market center logo, you can click this little hyperlink here to access and download those. Generally, if you've gone through our onboarding, though, we've updated most of this information for you. Moving down, if you have any compliance that needs to be included, whether that is specific footer text, if you have specific hyperlinks that need to be added, those will be available down here in this bottom section here. So this is your legal footer of your website. If you have any images that need to be included, those can be added here. And then, of course, if you have any social media links that you'd like to link, again, those are all going to be clickable links here, as long as you have those in your marketing profile. Again, should be the full URL for those platforms. Specifically for Instagram, you're not going to want to just enter your username or your, what is that called? Your name, basically your whatever your username that shows up. You don't want to enter that. You want the full public facing profile URL. And then lastly, if you have Google Analytics, this is great specifically for today's class because it allows you to track engagement on your KW website. If you need any help setting up Google Analytics, we do have a form you can fill out on our website. I can show you guys at the end of class where to find that specifically. You can fill out that form and we're happy to help you set up your Google Analytics to start tracking that information. Now, the last little thing that we want to look at as far as profiles go is in the My Profile. So I'm going to navigate to that before we head to our website. So that is this My Profile. Now, this is separate from your marketing profile that we just looked at. They do not communicate with each other. This profile is primarily an internal profile. So if you are updating your photo or your bio on this profile and you're wondering why it's not feeding over to your KW website, this one does not specifically connect to your KW website. However, there are a couple of small pieces of information that will generally pull over to this About Me page. Let me see if I can get it loaded really quickly. And I don't think Scott's show up, but these service areas and languages spoken, those will migrate over to that About Me page. So if you want to update those two items for your website, that would be done here in that My Profile. Okay. We're going to navigate back to our command home screen. And again, if you guys see me skipping over questions, I will come back to any and all questions at the end. Just want to make sure we get through all of the content. There's quite a bit in here. And if I need to hang around late, we will. Next thing, guys, is we want to head to the website's applet within command. So for that, we want to hover over these icons on the left-hand side, and we want to find this one that says websites. It should be the very last one on the bottom left. You can also hit this red and white KW to expand that menu bar, and that will show you all of the names of those. And you can hit that red and white KW to close that as well. Now from here, there are a few minor things you can customize by hitting this edit agent site, excuse me. And that is going to be a few basic items. So if you were to come here, you can edit your home page. With that, it does have certain limitations. Otherwise, you'd want to head into expert mode. But you can change your banner. So it currently says, let's find your dream home. You can adjust that to say something different. You can add your hero image back behind here. You can use both images and videos, and it will allow you to go ahead and upload those. Now, if you are looking for a video, I'll drop this link in the chat really quickly, but we do recommend this Pexels site. It is a great place to come and find videos to use for that. You can switch this to say videos, and you could search something as simple as real estate and find a good video that you like, download that, and then add that to your home screen. So great little option there. If we come down, we have some other options. We can adjust our search bar. We can hide if we want to remove the rent option. We can turn that off, and that will remove that here in just a minute. Featured properties, we can either hide those to where they don't show on our homepage at all by hitting that eyeball. We can also adjust the headline or the title and the description. We can adjust the properties that are polling there. So we have a central location that we will select. And then you can also adjust the radius around that that's going to pull properties from. So you have that ability here. You can also adjust your price range for those homes that are polling. And then below that, we have the ability to pull testimonials. Again, limited with what we can do here on this specific page, but if we scroll down, we can adjust the title that's displaying. We can add a description. It doesn't currently have one, but we could certainly add one if we want. Again, that eyeball is going to turn it on or off on the website. So if you want to remove those from the home screen, you can do that as well. And then lastly, we have our blog. So if we scroll down a little bit more, we can again adjust that title or headline. We can also adjust that description's displaying. Now, once we're done making any changes here, we're going to want to hit publish. Otherwise, those changes won't go into effect. And that's just the minimal things you can adjust right here within Command itself. Now, other things, you can add blogs right here. I'm going to go ahead and continue without publishing. So if you want to create a new blog, you can go ahead and do that here. You can add a photo, headline, subheadline, enter the body of your blog, and then you can go ahead and publish that. Now there is another option within the expert mode that I can highlight really quickly, but you have either of those two options when you want to add new blogs to your website. Now the last thing in here is styling. This will allow you to customize the color of your website. So you have a few options. You can do the KW theme default. As you can see, it kind of adjusts the search bar right here. It will adjust a few other things. That's just the immediate thing that changes. We have slate dark. As you can see, our screen is significantly darker. We have the slate light, the KW red light, KW red dark, carbon light. You have carbon dark, pewter dark, and pewter light. So you can kind of toggle through those and take a look at them, find the one that you like the best, and then once you decide on one of those, you're just going to go ahead and hit that publish button, and that will make those changes go into effect. Quick question in the chat. We are just editing our website from within the command platform. If I go ahead and hit this X, you'll be able to see how we got there. So give me 1 second. We were just under the website button here and edit agent site, and that's how we can go ahead and make some simple changes to our website right here. Now, the next thing we want to do before we jump into expert mode is we can take a quick look at these settings. The settings are where you can adjust your subdomain. So if you want to make changes to that, you can edit that here. You can find your app URL code here. It cannot be customized, but you can copy it easily. If you're on a team, you'll see that we have team referral links. So you'll have a team website URL, a team app link, and a team member app link. These additional links just allow you to stay the agent if you're on a team and someone is using those, but it's branded to the team. Next, we have preferences. These are options if you want to disable or enable those. If you'd like to show Keller Home Loans on your KW website and app, if you'd like to display Keller Covered on your website and app, and then lastly, if you want neighborhoods to show on your website. So for example, if we were going to come into one of these, let's take a quick look here, and actually maybe been a little faster to go the other way, but that's okay. We're just going to grab the first listing that comes. Actually, we don't need to. So these neighborhoods, these dark blue lines on here on the map, those are going to identify neighborhoods. So you can disable those if you do not want them to show up on your website. We have forced registration we can turn on. So forced registration is how many times do you want someone to be able to search for properties before they are required to sign up for an account. You can set that to 10 properties, to none, or unrestricted, so they can view as many as they'd like. And then lastly, you have deactivate my site. Strongly encourage you not to touch this button unless you are leaving Keller Williams or you have created your own third-party site that's completely different and you do not want to use KW at all. It will remove any information that was saved on there. So if you had testimonials or custom pages, you will lose all of that. So again, that's why we heavily encourage you not to mess with that deactivate. I see a couple questions. I am going to come back to most of those, so just bear with me. Now we're going to take a look at getting into actually customizing our website and adding some additional custom pages, okay? So for that, we want to head into expert mode. Now there's a couple ways to do that. You can come back to here, hit edit my agent site, and go into expert mode in the top right corner. Now, other than that, sorry, I don't know why that keeps popping up. You can come to settings and you can just hit edit my website. Both of those two will bring you into what KW calls expert mode, and your screen should look similar to mine. Now, if you're on a team or market center staff, you may have more than one agent website or more than one website. You'll want to make sure that the website that's showing here is the correct one. If you're on a team or staff or have other options like that, you can click on your name in the top right, and that will allow you to decide which website you would like to be on to make changes, okay? So again, just make sure that URL there is correct if you have any chance of having multiple websites. Now, if we scroll down, we're primarily going to hang out in this quick start section for today's class. So we're going to be taking a look at some of these templates, not all of them. If you're interested in checking out our default pages here, there's 3 of them. We go over these specific pages in our website setup classes. So they're a little more basic setup and changes. So if you're interested in those, I can drop that class link in the chat for you guys at the end of class. But let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take a look at adding some of these pre-made KWRI templates. So as you can see, there's a couple here. We have a download my app template. We have a mortgage calculator template, home valuation template, and we have a Why Work with KW. Now, those templates are pretty much create it. It's already got everything it needs. You're just simply publishing the page. But we're going to take a look at each of these. And the first one we're going to take a look at is this Why Work with KW. So if we go ahead and click on that template, give it a second here to load. Now that we're brought into the actual custom page for the Why Work with KW, Y Keller Williams, you're going to see that it already has information plugged in on this right-hand side. So we could simply come here and publish this page exactly as it is. KW has created these pre-made templates to where you simply just come in and publish them. Now, what does publishing it do? It's going to add it directly to your KW website. You're going to be able to find it under this More button once you publish that page. So as you can see, I think ours is called About Keller Williams. We've renamed it, but it's going to have a lot of the same information. Now, if we go back here, there are a few edits that obviously can be made. We can change the page title. So if you want to call it About Keller Williams instead, you can certainly change that. That will adjust it here. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. And we'll just copy and paste this to make it easy on ourselves. About Keller Williams. Anytime you see this little eyeball spinning, it's processing that change. So you'll want to just give it a second to catch up. And then you should see the change immediately in the preview on the right. Now the internal name, this is just for you to be able to locate that. If you go down, you have your page header. Again, this is just pulling this information over here. You can add a photo behind that if you'd like to. We can just upload, choose a file. We'll just grab this one here. Once that loads, I'm going to upload. That will add that photo behind that About Keller Williams, and it'll take just a second to update. You also have the ability to hide the title. So if you don't want that top section to show at all, you can toggle that off by simply just hitting that little button. It'll take a second and it will remove that. Now it's still showing the image because we added that separately. We could turn that off and it will remove it as well. Now next, you have the ability to come in and kind of customize this text. So if you're wanting to change what it says or add to it, you can do that. So you can change this title here, which appears at the top. You can adjust the text. So maybe you wanted to delete some of these extra spaces between paragraphs. Maybe you wanted to add a photo. We can go ahead and grab a photo, video, etc. Same thing, we're going to upload, choose a file. Maybe we want to add the Y4C2Ts. We can go ahead and grab that and upload. And we can go ahead and save and close, and that will add that into our website over here. We got to, again, give it a second to catch up, but it will add that in here. Really big, so we may want to come back and adjust that. But again, you can keep editing this text to your preferred. I could have added it down here instead, but that's okay. Move it down. There we go. And then you could just delete these if you wanted to. So if you wanted to remove these, again, you don't have to make any changes at all to this Y Keller Williams page. You can come in here, create it and publish it exactly how it is. That is what KW intended for you to be able to do. At the bottom, it also does include a contact form. If you didn't want that and wanted to remove it, you can, of course, hit this little minus button to remove that from the page. You can also add additional information here if you wanted to, additional modules. We're not going to do this on this page, but we will take a look at modules on a couple of our other custom pages. So now once we're done, we've created our page, everything is how we want it. We're going to simply hit that publish, and then it will give us a green banner up here that that page has been published. Now I'm not going to do that because I will probably get an error since this page already exists on our website. So I'm going to simply hit this Keller Williams in the top left corner, and we're going to go back to our website dashboard homepage. So I'm going to go ahead and leave. All right. Now the next custom or KW template we want to take a look at is going to be the mortgage calculator. So again, hanging out in this quick start section, we're going to go ahead and hit this template for the mortgage calculator. We're going to be brought into a similar location. It's going to look very similar. So again, it shows you in the top banner what page you're on. Now again, this one is pretty much ready to go for you. You don't have to do much. You can adjust the title, internal name, things like that. You can remove the contact form if you want to. Again, these are your pages, so you can certainly come in and customize them. But these templates provided by KW are meant for you to just come in and publish. So with this one, we would do just that. We would come in, have it ready to go, and we would just hit publish. This will all populate all of the information for you. Again, I'm not going to hit publish on this one because it will give us that error. So I'm going to simply go back to that dashboard again. We're not making any changes to this specific one. So we're going to go back here, the red and white KW. And then the next one we're going to take a look at is the download my app. So again, another template. It says download my app. We're going to go ahead and click into that one. Now that we're on here, you can see your preview again on the right-hand side. Now, a couple of things with this one. You can, again, adjust that title if you want to, the internal name. You can adjust the page header if you want. There's nothing really to do here with this page, though. There's not really anything that you can change. You could, of course, come in and click Add Module. Let's say we want to add our contact form at the bottom. So let's go ahead and add module. And from here, we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And we're going to find the one that says form. So F-O-R-M. We're going to click that. And once we've added that module, we just want to simply add what's going to be in that. So we're going to click here. Give it a second. It should only have a default agent contact title. So if we add that, both of those should be the same. Give it a second to load. We've just added a contact form at the bottom of our page. Now, you guys are in for a treat because they just remodeled what this looks like. So if you're used to seeing something different for the contact form, they did just kind of give it a little facelift. So much cleaner, I think. Photos bigger, things like that. I know a lot of people didn't like the red kind of banner behind the photo, so that's gone, it looks like. But that's all we're going to do is we're just adding that contact form. So this page would be done. Now, one last thing, when this page is actually published to your website, you will have a QR code that populates here. Now, Scott's not a licensed agent, so that's not going to show up on his. But once you hit publish and this is available on your website, you should have a QR code here that people can go ahead and scan. When you're publishing these pages, it is going to take sometimes up to 30 minutes for them to show up on your website under this More tab. But within 30 minutes, generally, those are available. So again, last thing we would do is publish. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our website dashboard homepage. So we're going to leave. And then the next one we want to take a look at is one more KW template, and then we're going to take a look at some actual custom pages that we can create. So the last one is going to be our home evaluation tool. So last template right here, home valuation. We're going to click that one. And we'll give it 1 second to load here. Now, once it's loaded, you'll see we have the page title. We have the page contents. If we click that, again, there's not a ton you can edit here. You can edit the title and that description that are displaying here. So title and description. But that is really all there is to edit on this one. So a contact on your page would come in, enter their home address, and it would give them, in some cases, it will give them an estimate of what it can find based on the information in the system as to what their home evaluation would be or home value. Otherwise, if the system doesn't have enough information, it's going to let them know that the agent is going to reach out to them with more information. Now, when someone fills this out, either way, whether it provides them a number or it doesn't, you're going to be notified through your command platform under your notifications that someone has filled this out. You'll have a new contact card if they're not already in your database. And it will provide you with the address and things that they included on that so that you can reach out to them. Now, some people with this one like to add that contact form again to this page. So if you wanted to do that, it's the same process. You're just going to hit the add module. You'll go all the way to the bottom again under these additional modules, and we're going to find that form. And from there, we just select that default one again, and it will plug that in for us. Now, again, this is one of the last templates that KW has put together. So they're pretty easy. They're pretty much already done for you. You can do some simple customizations or you can publish them as they are. So now that we have this one done, again, we can go ahead and just hit that publish, and this will be posted to our website within 30 minutes. Doing good on time. Let's go ahead and keep rolling. I'm going to go back to our homepage here for the website. And now we're going to take a look at a couple of custom pages we're going to build. Now, sometimes we do get questions on the difference between a custom page versus a landing page. So a custom page is going to be a page that is available on your website. It's going to show up under that More section. A landing page is going to be a standalone website. So similar to what it was on the old websites, if you've been around for that long, it is a website of its own. So if someone were to go to a landing page, it's not directly connected to your website. And at this time, there is not a way to connect it. So you would want to create a custom page if you want it available on the actual website. So that's the difference in those. But let's go ahead and we're going to create a local school search page. So for that, we want to go to our public school search website here. I'll drop this in the chat for you guys. And this is the one we use for when we are creating those local school searches. You'll see if you're up top, you just want to scroll down until you get to this school data widget. And from here, you're going to want to enter the location you're interested in highlighting. Not to worry, anybody visiting your website can search a different area. This is just going to be probably closest to you or the area you work in the most. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just leave it Austin, Texas, actually. But you can search by city and state, or you can search by zip code. Once you enter that city and state, you are going to see your map kind of adjust. Actually, we'll change it just so you guys can see that. So we'll give it just a second to update. And there we go. As you can see, it now says schools in Orlando, Florida. What size would you like this to be? We find that using a custom size of 800 by 800 seems to work the best for the KW websites. So that is what we recommend. Now you also get to choose a background. Now it says background, but it really means this little border around the school search. So you can adjust the color of that depending on your website and what you might like that to be. I'm going to go ahead and go with the black for today. So again, it's just that border. Now beyond that, we want to make sure we get our code. So it should update. You should be able to see your city and state within this iframe code to make sure it's updated. So as you can see, ours is not showing Austin anymore, it's showing Orlando. So we are good to go ahead and copy this iframe. And we're going to take this over to our KW website and create a custom page with that. So we're going to go back to our website dashboard. And from here, we are going to go ahead and get this custom page in the quick start area. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And from here, we need to title our page. So I'm going to just type this Orlando School Search. We're going to keep it simple for today's class, but you can, of course, name that whatever you'd like. It will give the same internal name as the page title. You can, of course, adjust it if you'd like to. Now, some similar things that we've seen before, the page heading. So we can, of course, hide that title if we don't want that to display. Give it a second, it erases it. We can also leave that on if we want to. We can add a photo here, same as before. If I just grab one of these photos, we can add it to the banner of that page. So it will show up behind that. And then we want to add a module for this page because as you can see, there's nothing here yet. So we want to go ahead and do add module. And for this one here, for the school search, we want to go all the way to the bottom again. And we want to come right here to these additional modules. These are kind of where we're going to be pulling from. For this specific one, we want to use this HTML embed. So we're going to click that one. And it's going to, again, add that module here. We still need to plug in what goes in that module. So from here, we're going to click this little drop down. Now here we can view our previously created HTML embeds. So if we previously created this, we can grab it. But for today, since we're creating a brand new page, we want to hit create new. Now at the top, we've got a bright blue banner. We also are seeing that we are now in a new HTML embed module and it's untitled. So we're creating that new HTML. So for here, we're going to take that iframe that we pulled from the school search and we're going to simply just paste that right here. Now, the last thing we want to do is it's currently aligned on the left side of the website. We want that to be more centered. You can certainly leave it on the left if you want. I'm going to go ahead and type right before this iframe, and I'm going to do the less than sign, and I'm going to type center, C-E-N-T-E-R, and then a greater than sign. And that is going to align that school search map in the center of the page now. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm just going to title my page so that I know what it's called. So we're going to do Orlando, if I could type today. And I'm just going to name it 211. Now, we've created our HTML embed. We want to go ahead and publish this. It's going to let you know, published. It's going to give you the date and the time. We want to go back now. Because now that we've created the HTML embed, we want to add it to the custom page. So we're going to go ahead and click this drop down. And as you can see, I have my newly created embed right here at the top of my list. Make sure you name it something you know if you have multiples, so you know which one is the new one. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And we'll give it just a second to load. Again, the eye is kind of moving. And now we have our school search right here on the center of our page. Now these maps are interactive. You can zoom in, you can move around. You also have the list feature. It will give you a list of the schools. And then lastly, you have that search option. So again, if someone is interested in a different area or a specific school, something like that, they can use that search feature on that map and take a look at what they're interested in. Now lastly, I always like to add the contact form. Scrolling all the way to the bottom in our modules. I'm going to grab the form and give it a second to load that information. And then we'll put it at the bottom of the page. And contact forms are great to use on any and all pages if you want to, because it never hurts to have an extra place for them to reach out to you. So now that we are done with this school search, again, we would just come in and hit publish. Um, I'm not going to publish this one again just because we have a ton of these on our site already, but we'd hit publish and we'd get that green banner up top again that lets us know it was fully published, okay? Um, the HEX. I think that's if you want to change the color to a specific color. So if you have that HEX for that color that you want the background to be, you could enter that there instead. All right, so we're going to go back to our KW in the top left corner, making sure I want to leave because I didn't save the changes. And the next thing I want to take a look at, guys, is a property landing page. So again, it's another one of our quick start items. It's right here. Now, again, a landing page is not going to be on your KW website. It's going to be its own website. But let's go ahead and click into that. Now from here, you'll see that it allows us to pull a featured listing to use. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one that I had pulled up. We're going to go ahead and just grab this address right here. And I'm going to plug that in. There we go. Now, again, it has to be an active listing. And once I plug in that featured listing, it's going to start pulling all of the information from the MLS. So again, these are easy, simple plug and play templates where they don't require a lot of work. For the featured image, if you wanted to add a featured image, you can. We can use the default listing photo from the listing. If we add that, it's going to add it at the top of our page here. So we'll give it just a second. There we go. So now we have our default listing photo. Now, if you click some of these, you'll see that there is some information you can adjust. So if we want to change the property title, I'm going to go ahead and just apply the address for this one. Other options it's going to give you are things that you may want to hide from the landing page here. So if you wanted to hide the price of the home or the bedrooms, you can toggle these off. They're really simple, and it will just remove that piece of information from this side. So as you can see, the listing price went away. If you wanted to hide the description, any of that that you do not want to show on the landing page, you can of course just toggle it off. So this one's super easy. It's just the property title and then what you want to be displayed. Now below that, we have some other things that don't have any information. As you can see, when we hit this drop down, we get nothing. Same for the carousel, I believe. There's nothing there for us to do. It's going to carousel the photos from the listing. Now the last, or the next two, you of course have the map. So if we scroll down on our page, we have a map here. Now, if we click that one, it's going to give us a couple of options. One, do we want to hide the boundary? So if we want to turn off this like neighborhood boundary line, we can just toggle this off and we'll give it a second to load. Now, alternatively, if we want to remove the map altogether, we can hit this little minus sign over here and we could just turn that off. So you have a couple of options when it comes to the map. If you did it by mistake, you can just turn it back on. You can turn that boundary back on. And then lastly, this one already has a contact form populated. So this would be your listing landing page. You could then use this URL, share it with people, all of that good stuff. Again, you'd want to publish. It won't be active or live until you hit publish. Once you hit publish though, I'm going to go ahead and go back. Once you hit publish, you can find that active page by coming to landing pages. Sorry, we have a ton of stuff in here. You'll find this custom landing pages, and you should be able to find that new landing page here to grab the link and start using that. Okay. The next thing I want to create with you guys is an open house sign-in sheet, okay? This one is super easy. Again, this one is actually not created within this dashboard. It's actually created on your actual KW website. So if you were to come to your basic website, I'm just going to grab this property address, make it easy on ourselves. If we want to come to our KW website and search a property. I'm going to go ahead and give it just a second. One thing I want to point out, this little blue dot when I'm searching a property, this is going to identify the active listing. So as you can see, these ones kind of say sold. This blue one is going to be an active listing. So we're going to click that one. And now we have our property pulled up. To create our open house sign-in sheet, we want to click in this search bar and we want to just click off of everything. So we don't want anything to be highlighted. From here, we want to do the / and we want to type into the browser open house. Now, once I have typed that /open house, I just want to hit enter on my keyboard. And we're going to give the page just a second. As you can see, we have a lot of information on here right now. Once the page refreshes, you'll see our URL has changed. We now have open house in the URL. And if we come down, you're going to notice that we have a lot less information on here. So we just have the photos that you can kind of shuffle through. We have the address and some basic information about the property. And below that, we have a contact form. So you could go ahead and have someone plug this in. Let's just do Scott, Roy, and I'm going to type class. We'll do support. We're going to put the number. And then they do have to accept the terms down here. And we're going to hit submit. And of course, I didn't type a number correct. It's not going to give it because it's invalid. That's okay. We'll grab Scott's from the website. Here we go. We're going to hit submit. Once they submit, it notifies you in your command platform that they have signed up on the website. You'll get a notification bell. If it's a new contact, again, you'll have a new contact card. But then it provides them with some little bit of information about you, a QR code to put your app on their phone and view the property. And then again, some additional little information. So you could go ahead and use that URL, open that up for your open house, have people sign in. You can also just share this on social media because it will capture that address when someone enters their information. So you'll know exactly what page they were viewing and what property they were taking a look at. So that is the open house sign-in sheet. Now, the last thing I want to cover with you guys before we get into questions is going to be creating a neighborhood page. So let me just take a look really quick if Scott has one on his website that I can kind of just give you a preview of. Sorry, there is a ton here. Let's take a look at this one. This is what we're going to take a look at creating just to give you guys a visual. So it's kind of like the neighborhood nurture, but it's going to give you some stats on a specific neighborhood. So we're going to take a look at creating one of these. So let's go back to our property. So I'm actually going to use this property to create this. So we have a property pulled up. We can scroll down to where we find the neighborhood details. As you can see, this is Explorer South Grove, east of Maine. If we click on this go to neighborhood, it's going to open a new tab for us. Now that new tab is going to look very similar to what we were just taking a look at. It's going to have some stats about that specific neighborhood, listings, nearby schools, all of that good stuff. So we're going to actually grab this URL right here, and I'm going to copy that. And we're going to use this for our neighborhood page. So we're going to go back to our dashboard now. And from here, we want to create a custom page again. So this custom page in the quick start. And from there, I'm going to name this let's see, what was it? Let's close this. We're going to name it Explore. I'm going to copy this and then we'll come back and get the URL again. Not a problem. We're going to just name it Explore South Grove, east of Maine. Again, that's our internal name. If we want to add a photo, we certainly can. Same thing, same process as before. And then we're going to add a module. I'm going to grab my URL one more time. So we're just going to copy that. Now for this one, we're going to use a different. So we've used the form, we've used the HTML embed. This time we're going to use the iframe embed. So we have our page contents right here. So iframe embed. We're going to do the same thing as the HTML. It's going to be very similar. So we're going to do create new. We're going to create the piece of information we want to put in that. So I'm going to go ahead and paste my URL right here where it says URL. We're going to copy this again. I'm going to name this my internal name. Again, internal, so you know what to find it under. And we're basically putting that website into our website. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second once we finish this. So we can adjust the frame, the width, things like that if we want to. I'm not going to mess with any of that. We're going to post this exactly as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and publish our iframe embed. And now that we're done, we're going to go back because we want to actually add that embed to our site page now, to our custom page. So we're going to click this. And again, it should always be at the top, but if you have multiples, just make sure you remember what you named it. And now that we've pulled that in, we're basically taking this whole website browser and we're plugging this browser into our page. So the reason I mention that is because you are going to see this banner with your About Me twice. There's no way to remove that when you're doing the iframe embed. You're literally copying the website and putting that website into your website. So you are going to see this displayed twice. You could add a photo there to separate them a little bit. You can, of course, also turn this off if you don't want that to show. It is still going to have this banner at the top, so just keep that in mind. You have the double. So sometimes having that header kind of creates some separation, which is good. Even if you had added a photo, we'll just grab my basic KW one here. It just creates some separation. So sometimes that is a good thing for these type of instances. Now, it has posted that entire page to our website. So we can view all of that neighborhood information, all of the listings. They will update when they're updating on that neighborhood. So we don't have to come in and update these or anything. Now we could, of course, again, add our trusty contact form. Come all the way down. Form. And go ahead and add that default. That will add the contact below it. There we go. It's just taking a second to load. But it will add that contact form down here below that. So that is the neighborhood page. So those are the custom pages I wanted to create with you guys. Again, once you're done and you have this one how you like it, I'm going to turn that off for now. You can go ahead and publish that page. This is a custom page, so it would be available under the More tab of your website. Again, usually takes about 30 minutes for those to be live on the website. So just keep that in mind. That is our custom pages for today. So I am going to stop record. We have 10 minutes, which is perfect for me to go through all of those questions. If you have any additional questions you didn't get to drop in the chat yet, go ahead and drop those in the chat. We'll take a look at them. I'm going to stop record. So if you don't have questions and don't want to hang around, feel free to jump off. Thank you for coming. And I hope this class was helpful for you guys. Let's go ahead and stop record.